I want to deep dive into this like PTSD and like rewiring your neural network. And if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. When I was going through that process, I realized one of the things, and I don't know that I technically had PTSD, but when I've read about it, I read this line that was so profound. It was like, you know that you are experiencing PTSD if you cannot stop reliving the negative memory. And I remember so many people during that time telling me like, that's all you talk about. That's all you think about. And I was like, it's literally all I think about. I can't stop reliving the negative memories of this. And the stuff, like one of the toughest things I had to work through was, I think people try to positive their way out of stuff like that. And I appreciate those that can do it. But for me, it was just so, I don't know. It was just so ingrained in me. Like I woke up with the memories. I went to sleep with the memories. I walked through the memories daily, but I realized I was working so hard to like, no, push them away, that I had to go through this phase where I had to sit with them and let them in order to grieve them. It was like the grieving process was like, no, let's put them in a box and you're going to literally sit with them and you're going to cry through them and you're going to love them. And then eventually you're going to like, let them go. And no one told me that part. Like people were just chastising, or like even my therapist, like it just felt like people were trying to get me to like positive my way out of it. And it was like, but I'm literally waking up, going to sleep and like almost married to these memories. It was like my brain wouldn't give me the choice to choose something different. And I realized in order for me to choose something different, I had to release the resistance to allow them in first. And like love them again. And then I could make the choice. But it was like my brain was stuck in this cycle of it was a movie playing in my head. And people kept saying, you're choosing the movie. And I'm like, I'm not choosing the movie. And to get to the rewiring, which I have, and it's so beautiful. And I can't wait till we talk deeply about what the other side, because my brain and my experiences and everything afterwards works completely different now. Yeah. But that part of just my brain, it was like my brain was playing tricks on me. Like I was like, get me out of this effing movie.
Yeah.
What was my brain doing? Why?
So let me answer that with an example that's unrealistic in this situation, right? So let's say a lion walks up those stairs over there and walks into this room.
I mean, a spider did.
A spider did. Oh, that's true. A spider. We saw a spider yesterday in this room.
He might as well have walked up the stairs.
Yeah, and everybody has freaked out. And that's all everybody could talk about this morning, right?
Myself included.
Yeah. So some people will not relate to the spider, though.
Right.
But if a lion walks up those stairs and comes into this room, everybody's going to freak out.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to, because that is a significant threat.
Correct.
Right? Now your brain is going to hyper focus on that lion.
Right.
It needs to focus on the posture of the lion, where the lion is. It needs to focus on
an exit plan.
If you're going to fight, what you can grab to fight, right? You need to decide if you're going to fight or run or freeze. Your brain is going to make that decision for you really quick. Mm-hmm. It's going to release certain chemicals, especially cortisol, which is a stress hormone. It's the stress hormone. And what that hormone is going to do in your brain is that it's going to now activate neurons in the parts of your brain responsible for your memory, in your hippocampus, right? And it wants to just laser focus on that thing. You are not going to be able to make any new memories surrounding anything else that's happening in the moment except for that line.
Correct.
You tell this story 2 weeks later, and assuming you survive, right. You tell this story 2 weeks later about a lion coming into a room, they're going to be like, who are you in the room with? And you might be like, you know what? I don't even know. I think there was some guy named Tom, some guy named David. I'd be like, no, I think both their names are like Chris.
Yeah.
Like we may not even remember, right? Because our brain doesn't make that memory. Right. It's just hyper-focused on the threat. And it's going to continue to replay that threat for you over and over. Because the brain's primary job is to keep you safe. It is to protect you. And the way that it does that is based on your past experiences. And there are going to be things in your environment that are going to trigger those memories that you're never going to be aware of until you start doing the work, right? So every time I see a microphone, I might be like, holy crap, I'm super anxious. All of a sudden I'm thinking about that lion. Well, there are several microphones in this room.
Right.
Every time I see a fake orchid, I don't know.
Don't try it.
Right? I might get anxious. It might trigger that memory for me. They're going to be triggers everywhere. And until I do the work, I'm not even aware of what those triggers are. And those triggers may last a lifetime. They may pop up from time to time. And it's going to be about figuring out how to work through those triggers.